Wall Street, which is continuing to trade flat, but it's actually given up some of the gains that it made earlier after opening for trade. So on your screen, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up about 0.25%. It had gained all the way to about a half percentage point, but it's given up those gains despite the fact that over the last half an hour you've had some positive economic reports come out. The factory sector, the manufacturing sector in the United States expanded more than was expected. The services sector also grew more than was expected in the month of November. But despite all of that, you are continuing to see some sort of stress really on Wall Street, where traders continue to take a rather pessimistic view. The big concern, of course, the fiscal cliff. All right, let's also check in on European markets, which ended the day lower than session highs. A weak retail sales data coupled with a business survey that showed that the slump in the Eurozone was a little less pronounced than initially expected, did weigh on the markets. But we've got Dominic Johnson, who's CEO at Somerset Capital Management, joining us now on the show from London. Now, Dominic, to begin with, European leaders have once again failed to build consensus on a banking union. What do you think it will take for these leaders to actually unite and address the crisis?
Banks in Europe, particularly the smaller ones, that are incredibly undercapitalized. They're in a very bad way. I think Germany particularly is very worried about the state of its local banking system. And also on top of that, you've got the politicization of a lot of these landers banks and regional banks, where the local government use what profits, if ever, they generate in order to supplement the taxes that they collect in order to try and give away more freebies and goodies to the population. So you've got a lot of political cross feeds going into this discussion point, which is a serious problem. The banks themselves are actually in real problems as far as their debts and their capital adequacy are concerned. And ultimately you haven't got that very important sort of market foot to the accelerator to keep the pressure on these European central bankers from actually coming to a conclusion. So I think it's going to take another shock in the market to really crack the whip. Not that I want that, but I can't really see them coming to a conclusion sensibly, rapidly enough, without external pressures.
Dominic, the US fiscal cliff is also in focus. Do you think politicians in Washington will reach a deal before the deadline?
The fiscal cliff, in my mind, is one of the greatest things ever to happen to America. What is it about? It's about having to reduce spending and raise taxes. It's about having to sort out the deficit. No one actually looks at the fact that this isn't some accidental policy mess up. It is reality. It is actually how our Western nations have found themselves massively indebted with huge public spending commitments. So, frankly, this is a crucial discussion. I hope they don't shirk it. I hope there actually is a bit of a cliff. You don't want the whole 500-foot drop, but you certainly need to address these issues. And so the debate they're having is central, in my mind, to getting America back on track. And as a result of which, I think you have to build into your expectations going forward some type of jar on the tax side and the spending side. And as I said, everyone else is going to have to do it. There's no reason why America can shirk their responsibilities in this area either.
Dominic Johnson, thanks very much for joining us on the show.